if you're ready to learn watercolor pencil in the most fun and relaxing way that I know of, one that will encourage you to keep practicing, keep watching because I'm going to show you how and why using watercolor pencil in this way is going to boost your skills and explode your creativity. First, you'll need to find yourself a coloring book. And hang on, because I was the first one to think that coloring book for adults was a strange concept when I first heard that they were a thing, I'll admit that. But that was because I had no idea of what they can do for your art skills, and I didn't know how relaxing and fun they actually are. I tried them in 2019 with colored pencils, but the problem was when I wanted to learn watercolor, I found that paper quality is a big issue, and I left them behind to go paint on good watercolor paper. Now, watercolor pencils are different, and here's how a coloring page can do absolute wonders for your practice. First, keep in mind that you can learn easily and anywhere. And part of it is because you need very little water with watercolor pencils, but you get all the benefits of colored pencils and watercolor combined, meaning you get the precision and you also get the faster colorings that can look smooth and blend easily when you know the techniques. And coloring pages that are thick work extremely well with watercolor pencils, which makes it easy, fun, and super relaxing to learn watercolor pencils in a coloring book. I would avoid cheap books with copy paper type pages, but all thick papers have potential to be great for watercolor pencils, even though the experience will vary with different papers. This is my first watercolor pencil work on a bookmark that I did a few days ago to relax one evening with the Derwent Inktense watercolor pencils. And I was sitting on my couch for the whole time, just having fun, coloring and then painting. And that's only because watercolor pencils are such low maintenance compared to watercolor or some other art mediums. All you need is just one jar of water and a paper towel, so it makes it so easy to practice in odd places. And for me, for instance, I can work on a page directly in the book when I'm not filming. The experience was truly amazing, even better than with my ash paper, hence that video. Now let's see watercolor pencils in action in a coloring book. I'm going to show you how I use my Derwent Inktense pencils in this popular coloring book by Emmanuel Courin. I'm starting by picking out the colors that I want, and I'd like to completely transform this drawing just to show you how far you can push your practice with watercolor pencils and coloring books. And to do that, I already looked up a few references online to get ideas. Normally I'll use free stock references when I copy the photo, but this time, since I'm just taking cues, just remote inspiration from the photos, I can go with anything I find online, like the red-haired girl for color and lighting reference on the hair and skin color. In the first layer I'm applying, I find the pencil glides on paper very easily, and it's nice because I had the same experience with the bookmark the other day. I can tell both papers are different, but they feel good with the pencil. Even better than my usual ash cold pressed paper because they're a bit smoother. My goal for this layer is to color everything and even start overlapping certain colors together so I can create some depth right from the start. Normally after the stage, you should already have a good idea about what the painting will look like. You're not going to need to be careful when coloring like you would be for colored pencils because we'll get a smoother look later when we wet this. A big thing about certain coloring books like this one is that the shadows are already there, so you won't even have to worry about that part. And if anything, I find it's great to train your eye to know where shadows should be and why they're there. And I mean that for later when you're ready to sketch your own designs. And I think coloring books can help get some insight about these things. Here, I'm going to start going for something more creative. I'm adding a sweater that wasn't there. So now I'm ready to wet this. And notice that I'm working with just one jar of water. It's more than enough. And I also have a piece of paper towel. And a common mistake people make with watercolor pencils is they add too much water, and then they also transfer paint that they just activated on the paper and that's on their paintbrush. They transfer it on other places of the drawing and they end up with a big muddy mess. And this is exactly what happened in my first painting when I started last year. So what you want to do instead is rinse your paintbrush frequently so there's no paint left on the brush. And so each time you can activate the actual color that's on the paper in that specific spot and not add another color you already have on the paintbrush from another place you just activated. And that's why I work on sections. It's easier, and there too I find a coloring book is convenient for that because it really goes well with the concept of watercolor pencils and working on sections. On the face, I just added a bit more water than I normally do with watercolor pencils because I want to keep those highlighted areas paint-free. And I can tell this paper is good, but it won't take loads of water for sure. The one from the bookmark was better actually, but still it works. All that to say anyways that making traditional art on great watercolor paper is always going to be the best. But the concept of coloring books is just another experience that I personally really enjoy. It's fun, it's relaxing, and it's just gonna add another set of skills to your practice if you wanted to. I also really like that we can jump in straight into a piece of art without stressing about the line art. Drawing is a separate skill that can be mastered later. You don't really have to wait to get really good at it to enjoy learning watercolor pencils. And I've made Skillshare classes with very easy drawings made with watercolor pencils, an apple and a ladybug. So even then, you can start creating from simple shapes. I'll add a link to those in the description of the video in case you want to see them. You can see now everything's blended and we still can see all the shadows from the line art beneath. So the painting stays nice even if you find the blending is not perfect. And anyways, if you want to, you can still add another layer. It's what I'm going to do because another layer will always help you improve the painting. You can fix the things you don't like, add more vibrancy. I mentioned I want to push this experiment far to show you all you can do with a coloring page. So I'm going to tackle the background, and I already know I better not wet it very much because the paper won't take it well if I do. And I'm coloring with my inktense pencils now directly on the paper, but another way to go is to dilute the paint from the pencils beforehand on a separate sheet of paper and paint directly with a brush. You can find a demo of that in my watercolor pencil technique video that I'll link in the description. There are a ton of things you can try with your watercolor pencils. This is just one demonstration, but you could go so many different routes with many different watercolor pencils too. And my Derwent Inktense, I know, are going to leave a few pencil lines on the background. There's no surprise here. So I could have just tried and paint directly on paper if I wanted to. I've added dark colors because I'd like to play with light and shadows a bit. I'm going to layer more color on the girl. And what I like is the paper is taking more color very well, so that's great. Because sometimes, mostly because of the paper, it can be hard to layer again. You'll find that the surface gets slippery and the pencil doesn't really stick, but this one is really nice. We're going to wet that now and see more intense colors coming in. Now with my white watercolor pencil, I'm going to intensify the highlights. And I like to do it in the hair and certain parts of the face, usually the ones that are curvier or closer to us, like a curved strand of hair or the tip of the nose, chin, forehead, the eyelids, because that part is a protruding one too. One thing I love to do is add extra hair for a more natural look. I really like that it's so easy to do. The paper doesn't even feel saturated at this point, and it makes all the difference to add that kind of extra touch. And a very cool technique I love to use with watercolor pencils is to activate color elsewhere and add natural freckles. And if you've tried colored pencil in coloring books, I think you can see how watercolor pencils spices things up with way more effects that we can create. There are parts I want to make darker, sharper, and also very precise. So I'm going to use this Faber-Castell fine liner. I'm also going to add a little touch of white gel pen for the brightest highlights. It looks awesome on the tip of the twigs and also the hair, but I'm really doing it carefully. I encourage you to watch this playlist next to learn loads about watercolor pencils. They're so much fun to use as traditional art and in a coloring book, and I hope I've convinced you to try them in this super relaxing way. Thanks for watching and see you next time!